Hey guys, excited to be with you today. I want to talk to you a little bit about giving. Man, what a church. This church is one of the most giving places I've ever been in my life, and that excites me. The reason it excites me is because God is blessing us and has blessed us immensely and continues to bless us and will continue to bless us as long as we continue to be a giving church. Can you imagine? Can you imagine all that God could do if his people would recognize what he does with money? Now, before I sound like a televangelist, like you send in your money and I'm going to send you, or God's going to send you rather, thousands and thousands of dollars for every dollar you send in here. Let me explain something. When Amy and I were first married, and even I think probably toward our last part of our dating days, right before we were married, we were beginning to hear about the concept of tithing. All right, and we were like, "You got to be kidding me." All right. We understood the principle and we kind of were like, man, really need to try the Lord. We need to test the Lord on this because he says to do that. He says, try me, try this, try giving and let me show you how I'll bless you. But man, there were times, man, where we would write that 10% check. I mean, we really would. We would write that and we were like, oh my gosh, how are we ever going to pay for anything? And he brought us through. He didn't make us filthy rich. What he did instead is he provided for us. He provided for us. And granted, now we're so richly blessed, and we realize it's so much more than money. Okay, we realize it's so much more than money. It's about love, and it's about serving, and it's about people caring for you, and all of those things. There are plenty of people who are givers who are blessed in so many other ways than money. But let me promise you this. He will bless you with money in the sense that he'll take care of you. If you're willing to be a tither, if you're willing to be a giver, and for those of you who are watching out there and you go somewhere else to church, be a tither, be a giver. I'm telling you, this stuff works. Amy and I just we could not believe it, but it's a biblical principle. It is an absolute biblical true principle that if you give, you will receive. Okay, even heathen who do not know God, atheists who do not know God, there are some who are givers, and the more they give, the more they get. It's a universal law that God set up, okay? You give, you get. And man, I'm telling you something. It is amazing to see just how much he blesses you. Now, if you get to the point where you give even beyond that, like tithes and offerings, oh my goodness, God is going to pour out his blessings on you. And that is an amazing concept that many of us forget. You're struggling, hurting. Oh my gosh, how am I going to make it? Many times you'll find those people are not tithers. They're just not. It's not something they're going to do. They know they're supposed to, and they read it, but the concept doesn't make much sense to them. So what do we need to do? We need to tell everybody, the more you give, the more you get. The more you give in a relationship, you should get. I mean, you will get. You will reciprocate it amongst your family, amongst your friends. Not everybody's going to, but you'll get back. It's back to the concept of sowing and reaping. But here's the thing. Why don't you sow into the church that you go to? Why don't you tithe to the church that you go to? Okay? Ultimately tithing to the Lord, but allow that storehouse, that church, to use what you've given them to further the kingdom. I'm telling you, it is amazing what God is doing, what he's already done in the past, what he is doing, and what he will do. Try him and see. It's amazing. See you guys. Bye-bye.